Tom Jones, a name that has echoed through decades, celebrated on stages across the world, adored by millions. But behind the glittering lights and roaring crowds lies a life filled with triumphs, heartbreaks, and untold family secrets. What happens when a legendary fortune, built on raw talent and unshakable willpower, is passed on? And how does a complicated family dynamic influence the legacy of one of the greatest voices in music history? The world has been buzzing about Tom Jones lately, not just for his timeless voice or incredible stage presence but for what his next chapter might hold. Rumors of health battles and family tensions have fueled endless speculation. Yet, through it all, Tom continues to amaze, proving that age is no match for passion and purpose. But there's a twist to this story, a reason why his family was left overwhelmed with emotion, and why his legacy might take a surprising turn. Stay with us, and by the end of this video, you'll uncover a piece of Tom Jones's life that most fans don't know. You'll also gain a new appreciation for what it means to truly leave a mark in this world. You won't want to miss what's coming. It's not just about fame, fortune, or even family. It's about a decision so extraordinary it could redefine everything we thought we knew about Tom Jones. Tom Jones wasn't always the global sensation we know today. Long before the sold-out arenas and iconic hits, he was a young man from Pontypridd, Wales, with nothing but raw talent and a dream. Growing up in a working-class family, his early life was far from glamorous. He faced struggles that could have easily crushed his ambition. But Tom had something extraordinary, a voice that could captivate anyone who heard it, and a determination that refused to waver. In the 1960s, when the world was still reeling from the Cultural Revolution, Tom's breakthrough single, "It's Not Unusual," turned him into an overnight star. It wasn't just his voice that drew people in, it was his electrifying charisma and the way he connected with every lyric as if he lived it. Suddenly, Tom Jones was everywhere, on TV screens, radio stations, and magazine covers. He wasn't just a singer, he was a force of nature. But fame comes at a price, and for Tom, that price wasn't just personal, it was deeply tied to his family. As his star rose, so did the weight of expectations and the pressures of keeping his loved ones protected from the glare of the spotlight. Yet, amidst the chaos, Tom's unwavering bond with his roots kept him grounded. What most people didn't know, though, was that even as he climbed to global stardom, his family played a pivotal role in shaping the decisions that would later define his legacy. And while the world celebrated his success, behind the scenes, life was far from a fairy tale. There were challenges brewing, challenges that would test his resilience and the strength of those closest to him. And here's the real question: how did those early years of fame influence the incredible decision he would make later in life? Stick around, because this story only gets more intriguing from here. Behind the glitz and glamour of Tom Jones' career was a relationship that defined his personal life: his bond with Melinda, his childhood sweetheart. They met as teenagers in their small Welsh town, and their connection was immediate. But this wasn't a typical romance. It was a partnership built on love, loyalty, and incredible resilience. When Tom's career skyrocketed, their marriage faced intense scrutiny. Fame brought temptation, and the tabloids feasted on every scandal they could find. Tom's own admissions of infidelity made headlines, yet through it all, Melinda stayed. Why? Because their relationship wasn't just about love, it was about an unspoken understanding that few could comprehend. For Tom, Melinda wasn't just his wife, she was his anchor, the one who reminded him of who he truly was when the world tried to define him. She stayed out of the limelight, but her influence on Tom's decisions, both personal and professional, was undeniable. Melinda's quiet strength became a shield for Tom, protecting him from the relentless pressures of fame. But there's a twist here that most people don't know. Their relationship wasn't just a story of survival, it was also a story of sacrifice. While Tom toured the world, Melinda chose to stay behind to give their family a sense of normalcy. Yet, even at a distance, their connection remained unshakable. Here's the heart of it: Melinda's influence would become a guiding force during one of the most challenging moments of Tom's life. A moment where he would face a choice that would not only redefine his career but also his legacy. What was that decision? Keep watching, because the stakes are about to get even higher. Fame may look glamorous, but it often comes with an unbearable price. For Tom Jones, the height of his success was also the height of his personal challenges. The demands of stardom were relentless: constant travel, exhausting performances, and endless attention. Yet, amid this whirlwind, Tom faced a crossroads that would define both his career and his relationship with Melinda forever. It all came to a head during the late 1980s. Tom's popularity was waning, and the music landscape was rapidly changing. The sound that had made him a global superstar was no longer in demand. His record sales dropped, and the spotlight dimmed. For an artist who had dominated the charts for decades, this was a crushing blow. Tom's team urged him to adapt, to reinvent himself for a younger audience. But doing so would mean stepping away from the style and image that had defined his entire career. It wasn't just about changing his music, it was about risking his identity. The stakes were enormous. What if he failed? What if his fans turned their backs on him? During this critical time, it was Melinda who pushed Tom to take the leap. She reminded him of the fearless boy she had fallen in love with, the one who dared to dream beyond their small Welsh town. "If you're not willing to risk everything, you'll never find out what's next," she told him. Those words struck a chord. Tom made the bold decision to embrace reinvention. Partnering with producer Trevor Horn, he recorded an album that was unlike anything he had ever done before. When Reload was released in 1999, it shocked critics and audiences alike. Featuring collaborations with contemporary artists, the album blended styles, genres, and voices in a way that felt both modern and unmistakably Tom Jones. The gamble paid off. Reload became one of his most successful albums, introducing him to an entirely new generation of fans. More than a comeback, it was a rebirth. But this wasn't just a professional triumph, it was a personal one. Tom's decision to evolve proved that he was more than a voice. He was an artist willing to take risks, even after decades of success. And here's the kicker, this pivotal moment wasn't just about securing his legacy. It was about honoring the woman who had believed in him from the start. Melinda's faith in Tom gave him the courage to bet on himself, and the results were nothing short of extraordinary. But this story isn't over. What happened next would solidify Tom Jones' status as a living legend while testing his resilience in unimaginable ways. Stay with me, because the next chapter of his life is where the emotional stakes reach their peak. As Tom Jones stood on the pinnacle of his reinvented career, life threw him an unimaginable curveball. The love of his life, Melinda, who had been his unwavering rock through triumphs and challenges, fell gravely ill. In 2016, after a long and private battle with illness, Melinda passed away, leaving Tom devastated and lost. Her death marked the end of a 59-year marriage, one built on shared dreams, sacrifices, and an unshakable bond. For Tom, it wasn't just the loss of his wife, it was the loss of the person who had been his compass since the very beginning. He later described it as the most profound and painful experience of his life, a pain so intense it left him questioning his future in music and even his sense of purpose. In the weeks following her passing, Tom withdrew from public life. Friends and fans feared that the man who had commanded stages around the world might never return to the spotlight. After all, how could he perform the songs that Melinda had inspired? How could he summon the energy to sing when his heart was shattered? But then something remarkable happened. Instead of retreating permanently, Tom found a way to channel his grief into his music. His performances took on a new depth, his voice carrying the weight of a man who had loved, lost, and endured. Songs that once seemed carefree now held layers of emotion that audiences could feel. In interviews, Tom shared how Melinda's memory became his guiding force. He started every day by speaking to her photograph, seeking her silent approval, as he navigated a world without her. He poured his sorrow, love, and resilience into his music, creating performances that moved even the most casual listeners to tears. One of the most poignant examples was his rendition of Bob Dylan's "What Good Am I?" during a live performance. The vulnerability in his voice revealed a man grappling with his loss, yet refusing to be defeated by it. Audiences were spellbound, sensing they were witnessing more than just a performance. It was a tribute, a catharsis, a love letter to Melinda. Tom's ability to transform his grief into art didn't just revive his career, it deepened his connection with fans. People saw in him a reflection of their own losses and struggles, and his resilience became a source of inspiration. But what happens when grief and fame collide? How did Tom manage to navigate this new chapter, while keeping Melinda's memory alive? The next part of this story is about the remarkable way he found closure and a way forward. For many, the weight of such profound loss might have signaled the end of a storied career. But, for Tom Jones, it became a catalyst for a new chapter, one that would honor Melinda's memory while pushing the boundaries of his artistry. After months of mourning, Tom made a decision that surprised everyone. He wouldn't fade away. Instead, he resolved to live in a way that Melinda would have been proud of, embracing every opportunity to create, connect, and thrive. It started with his music. Tom poured his grief, love, and reflections into a powerful album, Surrounded by Time. This wasn't just another record, it was a deeply personal exploration of his life's highs and lows. Each track seemed to carry the echoes of his journey, from his early days to the heartache of recent years. Critics and fans alike were stunned. The album debuted at #1 on the UK Albums Chart, making Tom the oldest male artist to achieve this milestone. What made this success even more remarkable was the way Tom approached his music. He didn't shy away from the pain, he leaned into it. His voice, richer and more soulful than ever, delivered lyrics that resonated deeply with listeners. Songs such as I'm Growing Old and Popstar showcased a man who had nothing left to prove but everything left to say. Beyond the music, Tom also stepped into the spotlight in ways that were unexpected. He appeared on popular talent shows like The Voice UK, mentoring young artists and sharing the wisdom of his decades-long career. It wasn't just about being a judge, it was about guiding others to find their voices, much as he had done in his own tumultuous journey. What truly captivated audiences, though, was his candidness. In interviews, Tom spoke openly about his grief, the mistakes he'd made, and the lessons he'd learned. He revealed that Melinda's passing had taught him to cherish every moment, to forgive himself for past errors, and to embrace vulnerability as a strength. But this newfound openness wasn't just for show. It was clear that Tom's transformation was genuine. He wasn't just a music icon anymore. He had become a symbol of resilience and reinvention. Fans, both old and new, found themselves inspired by his ability to keep moving forward, even in the face of unimaginable pain. And yet, there's one question that lingered. After all he's been through, what truly drives Tom now? Is it the music, the legacy, or something more? In the final chapter, we'll uncover the deeper purpose that fuels his every step, and the promise he made that keeps him going. As Tom Jones stands before packed audiences, his voice ringing with the passion of a lifetime, one thing becomes abundantly clear: he's no longer performing just for fame or fortune. His mission transcends music charts and sold-out arenas. It's about leaving behind something timeless, a legacy that speaks to love, loss, and the undying human spirit. For Tom, every song he sings now carries a message. When he belts out a classic or a heartfelt ballad from his newer albums, it's not just entertainment, it's a bridge between his past and the present. In every note, there's a nod to his roots, a tribute to Melinda, and a beacon of hope for those navigating their own hardships. In interviews, Tom has often shared the promise he made to Melinda during her final days, to keep living fully, to continue creating, and to never let grief extinguish the fire in his soul. That promise is his compass, guiding every decision he makes. But his legacy isn't just confined to his personal story or even his music. Tom has embraced his role as a mentor and storyteller. His candid reflections about his life, the triumphs, the scandals, the heartbreak, have become lessons for a world searching for meaning in its own struggles. Whether it's a young artist on The Voice or a fan meeting him backstage, Tom's wisdom has the power to inspire transformation. What makes his legacy so profound is its universality. Tom Jones reminds us all that it's never too late to grow, to learn, and to rise. His journey isn't about perfection, it's about perseverance. And for anyone who has ever felt broken or lost, his story stands as a testament to the strength we all carry within. As he moves into the twilight of his career, Tom remains as committed as ever to his craft. But more than that, he's committed to ensuring that his story, his legacy, continues to resonate long after his final encore. Because for Tom, it's not about being remembered as a star, it's about being remembered as someone who lived fully, loved deeply, and never stopped fighting for what mattered. And as this video comes to a close, here's your challenge: take a moment to think about your own legacy. What will you leave behind? Tom's story shows us that it's never too late to shape your future, rewrite your past, and honor those who've touched your life. If Tom Jones's incredible transformation has inspired you, take that energy and turn it into action. Maybe it's a call to someone you've lost touch with, a project you've been putting off, or a step toward healing a wound that's long been ignored. Whatever it is, start today. Because, as Tom has shown, every moment counts. And remember, this is just the beginning of what you can achieve. Tom didn't stop after heartbreak, and neither should you. So, what's your next move? Let us know in the comments below. Your story could be the spark someone else needs.